Hey, happy Labor Day weekend. Right before Labor Day. And look at this, 2 podcasts this week. I'm trying to be more consistent. Everything is so busy that I'm trying to just keep everything rocking and rolling and stuff. So, but anyways, got some free time here. I wanted to hit this subject here. I'm Jason Grandon, your host of the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, hosting your favorite podcast, The Lockbox, brought to you by the Grandon Group. Thanks again. Again, we're #1 lifestyle and real estate podcast. For those of you that are listening, great. You can also watch us, go to our social media pages, the website, and stuff like that. You can see live, me talking live here in my office that is going to get cleaned. Actually, Labor Day weekend, my wife's birthday, so happy birthday, Amy. We are going to clean the office out. So next time we do a podcast, it's going to look different and probably, most likely, very fall-y. Because, man, I'll tell you what, favorite time of year, I love fall. And if you listen to the last podcast, that is exactly what we talked about. So let's get started today. So, again, the Grandon Group, or I should say the Lockbox, we don't really get into politics. But this is something that, I think it's not up for debate. Oh, it is up for debate, and we want to make sure that everyone's kind of has a good opinion, but an educated opinion on it. So, as you know, and if you don't know, you're going to know here soon enough, we own instantrenters.com. Now, we love helping renters find new homes. And my attitude on this is that you already own a home. You're either buying it for your landlord or you're buying it for yourself. But there are some instances where you need to rent, and then we want to get to buying. So check out instantrenters.com. The new site launches this week. It's specifically to help you find rentals. We will help you. It'll be just like buying a home. We take you out. We show you. We can even negotiate maybe a little lower price on a rental home for you. But today we're diving into an important topic. It's been hitting the media. Some of the media picks it up. Some doesn't. The politicians, who both sides are total scumbags, they never sit there and really tell you the true thing on this. So we're talking about Section 8 housing reform, and specifically the idea that just came out there. It's being kind of floated out there. I don't know if they're going to go forward with it. I think they should. But it's the idea of a 2-year cap on benefits. Now, let me be clear. This is not about politics. I'm here, and my sister and I would love helping people get real estate. So this is about responsibility, growth, and opportunity. But at the end of the day, housing isn't just about putting a roof over your head. It's about building the future. Anyone want to disagree with me on that? Go for it. I know a lot of the HGTV shows, they show all this different stuff. The media pushes these different narratives about, we need to help this. So Section 8 was created to be a safety net. Okay, it was a temporary, and I say temporary, bridge for people who fall in tough times. Listen, we've all been there. We are not criticizing it or anything like that. But here's the reality. It's kind of turned into a system where many people stay on it for years, sometimes even decades. Now, I have personal experience with Section 8 because I rent out a lot of Section 8 housing. The Arizona Housing Department, they have a Section 8 department here. Great people to work with. They're really friendly. They have a good time. And we try to find people that, they get a voucher. So they call up and they're like, Jason, I have a voucher for, let's say, $1,500, but it has to be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, has to be in a certain city, Phoenix, Tempe, wherever it is. Sometimes they get all of Maricopa. So it just varies. And that part is a question for them because I don't know exactly how they determine, you can only be in Tempe or you can only be in Phoenix. So anyways, but also the waiting list to get on Section 8 is huge. It's like a 5-year wait list. So it's, from right there, anytime government's involved, we know it's going to get screwed up. Personally, I think it should be privatized. It'd be great as a nonprofit and it'd make things work. So, but here's the bigger problem and that we're seeing on this. And again, I love helping Section 8 people. I'm not criticizing you. They come, we get them a place, and over this course of time, they're supposed to go ahead and maybe get a better job or, get some help managing their budget better, or just whatever the situation is, that's what it's meant for. So the bigger problem with Section 8 is, though, the system actually is discouraging advancement. So let me give you a real example. And I had a lady on Nextdoor because I posted this from the blog that we did, and there's always an example of, what about this? What about this? So let's cut that out. Let's go with a grand scheme of things, okay? So we know there's little instances that can all be dealt with individually, as they should be. This is not an all for one fit all shoe type deal. So not too long ago, I had a lady call, and she's like, "Hey, I got a Section 8 voucher. Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Of course." So she called, and I said, "Oh, how much is your voucher for?" She goes, "It's for $2,500 a month." Wait a second, and I didn't say this to her, obviously, but $2,500 a month? There's people out there that are actually struggling to make a $2,500 a month payment, and now she's getting $2,500 as a voucher on top of it. Now, this is what's going to get you. She works for the state in a very good department in the federal government here in Arizona. She had a steady job. She's been there. She's been on this voucher for 7 years. $2,500 a month for 7 years. She was offered a raise, and she turned him down. And I said, "Why?" She goes, "Well, because if I make one more penny over the income limit, they cut her off of the voucher. So the raise to her is not worth her salary and the $2,500 a month she's getting." So this is not laziness. Absolutely not. And she was a spectacular lady, by the way. Taking care of her kids, working, making very good money. I mean, if some of you were making the kind of money she was making and then getting $2,500 a month for your housing allowance, she's basically living free. And then, her $70,000, $69,999 a year that she's making goes to, life, which is great. So, but $2,500 a month. So again, not laziness. This is just the system holding back people. Imagine being trapped between wanting to succeed and then being punished for trying. This is an issue that is something that needs to be talked about. And again, I'm very adamant about people. You don't have to get involved with the politics, but you know what? There's some people way smarter than me that can address this. Send it to the politicians and let them know, hey, let's get this thing fixed. This is where reform is positive, and this is where HUD's new ideas come in on this 2-year cap on Section 8 assistance. And this is kind of the way I'm reading it. Could be wrong, but listen, I don't think anybody should be on Section... Okay, I don't think a lot of people should be on Section 8 for 6, 7, 8 years. Even, 2 years is plenty of time for you to get your stuff together to move on to the next level. And listen to this. Yes, I personally would love to live on the highest house in Paradise Valley, spend $50 million on a house, $40 million, $10 million, or even $5 million on a house. But you know what? Got other priorities. So why should the government say, "Oh, you deserve to live here, let me give you the money to cover that"? They shouldn't. So think about the 2-year cap on Section 8 assistance. Let's think about it here for a second. It gives families breathing room. 2 years of stability to get your footing. So that means day one, you've got over 700 days to get your stuff together. Why is it you get your check and then you just can't get it together? I mean, I do run into people, and I've ran, and listen, let me rephrase on this a little bit. A Section 8, here's why I like it. And a lot of people sit there and they bash it. But the fact is, if you're on Section 8 and you're getting, and you trash someone's house or you get a lot of complaints, they will pull you off Section 8. It's not that hard to get pulled off there. So from that aspect, I love Section 8 because it's supposed to teach them a little responsibility. Now, does it? No, because you have the government giving you money and saying, "Don't do this, now on your way." So there's no kind of, reinforcement. So, but it gives family breathing room, 2 years of stability to get their footing. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. They deserve that. But during that 2 years, they shouldn't be sitting on the couch for 2 years. Some of them are tied into these other government programs, getting free food and everything, and basically living on the government with a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month job, basically. But the new ideas also set a finish line. So people know they can't stay on it forever. So hopefully that gets them a fire under their butt. Now, with that said, sometimes people do need motivation, and that's where the government fails. And that partly the reason I think this should probably be privatized or at least nonprofit. But if they're on Section 8, there should be goals that they have to hit, and there should be some sort of counselor that follows them. That's a topic for a different discussion later. But most importantly, what this does, it removes the fear of success. No more turning down promotion or raises. Instead of saying, I can't afford to grow, the people start saying, I have to grow. I've got to do better at my job. I got to get a raise. I got 2 years of getting this assistance. I want to be off of it. And we can do this in 2 years. That is growth. That makes homeowners so much happier. That makes the future homeowners happier. And if you got to go to rent, you got to rent. But it still makes you happier. It's succeeding, and that builds so much success in your body. Listen, we all don't have to turn into multi-millionaires and just we got to make enough to drive, Ferraris and Mercedes and stuff. Listen, every day we're above ground is a blessing. Trust me on that. Hey, Ronald Reagan, and again, we're not making this political, but he said it best. And I love this. And this is actually written on some of my stuff here on the desk behind the camera here. The welfare state is the only thing in government that's built to destroy itself. And you know what? He's right. When benefits are endless, they weaken the very people they're supposed to help. Okay? The welfare state is the only thing in government that's built to destroy itself. When benefits are endless, they weaken the very people they're supposed to help. Reform can reverse this cycle by bringing back accountability. That's all we want. All right? So, you guys, I'm sure a couple of you are laughing that listen to this podcast because you're like, man, Jason is on fire today. But I got to tell you, I try to keep the podcast positive and fun and upbeat, but this subject keeps coming up. I'm getting the calls on it, and you know what just really irritates me to no end is the fact that no one does anything about it. I'm doing something about it because I'm writing letters, I'm meeting politicians. I want to see great things for my entire community. I want the people that are down and out right now in a year or two just to be up there, hitting a gym, having a great job, happy with their job, and just living life. Stop watching the social media and saying, oh, that guy got to go on vacation and I don't get to do this or that. It doesn't matter. We're responsible for ourselves. So the HUD's own secretary admitted this. He said that the system is broken and deviated from its original purpose, which is to temporarily help Americans in need. HUD assistance is not supposed to be permanent. So, again, I love this. I love the fact that I get to help out you guys, the people listening to this, the people that don't listen to it because they think they can't afford it. Everybody can do this and they can make the change. But groups like Turning Point USA, which I absolutely love, Turning Point USA, and Charlie Kirk, and they have done great things, and other reform advocates stress the same thing. Personal responsibility, independence, and limited government. These values aren't just political talking points. They are keys to upward mobility. Listen, you don't have to be involved in politics, and I don't suggest if you're not involved, getting involved with it. I'm not saying that. But I do think all of us have to keep an eye on this. Besides that, for those of you who are thinking, Jason, this is stupid, who cares? Well, the reason we care is because you're paying for it. This is your taxpayer money that's funding all this. So, the bigger picture, let's use housing as a stepping stone. Here's how we see it at the Grandon Group. Real estate isn't just a property. It's people's future. At instantrenters.com, the new site, you guys are going to love it, we see firsthand how housing, whether it's Section 8 or private rentals, can be a launch pad. It's a launch pad to something that is so great if you keep moving, if you have accountability, if you have personal responsibility. It's a launch pad. And with reforms like this, housing stops being a trap and becomes a stepping stone. That's the way it should be. When renters are given both opportunity and accountability, they can become future homeowners. And then what happens? Well, let me tell you, communities grow stronger. The housing market stabilizes and families thrive. So here's the takeaway. This isn't about stripping away help. It's not about giving people, keeping them in a box and making sure they stay down. This is about giving people the tools and the motivation to grow. If done right, a 2-year cap on Section 8 benefits could transform lives. It could strengthen the housing market. And man, let me tell you, it is going to absolutely build healthier communities. Let's stop looking at housing as a system that holds people down and start seeing it as a foundation that builds them up. Listen, hope you guys had fun today. This is you. This is for us. We want our communities to be great. If you live in a community next door to mine, you want that community to thrive. I want to see the schools, kids out there playing, having a good time. I want to see just great things going on. And so that's why we're talking about Section 8. And this leads into our Labor Day podcast as well. I know we did one the other day for Labor Day. This kind of leads into it because, you know what? If it wasn't for all of you, the men and women that are out there just making this country great, I don't know what we'd do. We'd be a different country. But you know what? We live in a great state. Arizona is a fantastic state. We've got a lot of good things going. I want to see Section 8 get reformed. I want to see the people that are on Section 8 be excited about getting off of it. But I want to see some accountability. And you know what? I don't expect the people that are on it to have the accountability. I do expect the people giving out the handouts, the state and stuff, to set up programs to help them, make them accountable. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing greater than watching someone's eyes change when life's in front of them. For those of you who go to church, and I've seen this firsthand, it is so amazing to watch somebody find God when they go to church and it just clicks and you see it in their face. And listen, it is so exciting when you sell a house, especially when it's sold from the Grandon Group, Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team. Watching somebody's eyes just get big. They're like, I just bought my first house. This is so exciting. Even if it's a rental. I got my first rental, Mom and Dad. This is great. The housing market is a stepping stool. That's all there is to it. So listen, thanks for joining me. This has been fun, a little different than I'm used to. Next one's going to be great because we are moving into fall. And you can bet that the next couple podcasts are going to be exciting and they're going to be about Halloween. And instead of drinking water, even though I'm trying to diet, I might have to have a pumpkin spice drink of some sort. I don't drink coffee, but it'll be something. Anyways, listen, thank you again for making the Lockbox Arizona's #1 lifestyle and real estate podcast. In addition, thank you for making the Grandon Group Arizona's #1 brother and sister real estate team, powered by one of the top brokerages in the state, My Home Group. Listen, thanks for joining me today. Until next time, let's keep striving, let's keep growing, and let's keep building stronger communities together. I'm Jason Grandon with the Grandon Group. Happy Labor Day weekend. We'll see you guys soon.